I'm not that fond of Ghost of Tsushima's story. I feel as though it's at odds with the gameplay. It assumes I've been playing stealthily and assassinating targets when I found the head-on combat much more engaging. As such, it felt out of character for my Jin to betray his uncle and become the ghost, as he didn't do anything dishonorable outside of cutscenes. But one character changed all that for me, a character whose side quest explained to me why Jin ended up making the choices he did, to the point that I'm baffled it's in a missable side quest. After Jin's mother died when he was 7, Jin was left without a maternal figure in his life. He had plenty of warriors and honourable men to look up to, including his father and uncle, but no one was left to teach him the value of kindness, except for Yuriko, who played the part of his mother. She also had an intimate relationship with Jin's father. It's unknown how this relationship came about, but it stands to reason that Yuriko felt a duty to help ease the suffering of both father and son, and replace the critical figure that they had both lost. A mother is an instrumental figure in a boy's life. I can speak to that personally. My dad isn't comfortable having serious or emotional conversations, and likes to keep things lighthearted. My mum is the one who I talk to about how I'm feeling, and who I go to when I need advice. It's a similar situation for Jin. Both his father and Shimura are slaves to the honor, putting it above even a sense of preservation. You can't just be raised on testosterone alone. You need to have a softer empathy to help nurture you into a considerate person. There's an ancient Greek saying that goes along the lines of, "The society that separates its warriors from its scholars will have its thinking done by cowards and its fighting done by fools." This is apparent with Jin's paternal figures. His father cannot restrain his bloodlust and tries to brutalize his foes on Iki Island, and Shimura would willingly sacrifice his men if it meant he wouldn't have to dishonor himself using stealthy tactics. Both of these men don't have a female figure in their lives to help guide them emotionally, as men are often bad at processing and handling their emotions. I know that I definitely am. And I don't think it's a coincidence that as soon as Yuna enters Jin's life, she teaches him to stop fighting like someone trying to impress his uncle and subjects, and start fighting like someone who's got everything on the line and won't lose their home no matter the cost. This brings us back to Yuriko, the sole maternal and sincere person in Jin's life, who presumably played the role of mother as best as she could for her lord. As with many good step-parents, she overcompensates for the positivity that was left in the wake of their predecessor. I can attest to this, as when my nana died when I was at a young age, I had an aunt step in and filled that role of a kind relative who spoilt me. And there's no doubt in my mind that Yuriko is the same type of sweet person as that aunt. I can promise you she raised Jin like she was more than her son, which she was. Jin is Yuriko's lord, meaning she can't refuse a direct order from him. Due to Jin not becoming overly spoilt and bossy around people, we can see that Yuriko kindled his emotional state in a way that most blood-related parents never could. Imagine your child getting $1 million and through your teaching alone they chose to save it. Where Jin's parental figures filled him with a sense of duty and honor as a samurai, Yuriko invested him with the emotional joy of being a lord and protector of the island. She represents the emotional connection Jin still has to his old life, but she doesn't condemn Jin for the life he leads now. In fact, she reassures him that his father would agree with him, as he grew sick of his brother's strict adherence to the code. The only things keeping Jin tied to his old life are his honor and emotions. It's hard to pinpoint when Jin's honor died. Some might say it was poisoning the Mongols, but he never hesitates to do so there's another point where he forsook his honor. I would say it was the moment he unlocked the ghost stance, which represents the antithesis of the samurai code, and where he reaches his true potential as a symbol of fear. But with his honor gone, all that is left is his emotional ties to the past, those memories of the happy days growing up as a lord, being mentored and learning how to be a warrior and a good person. And that side of him dies on the cliff, sitting next to him, thinking back on those happy times, but always looking towards the future. He buries that side of him on that cliff, and he uses the gift of poison she gave him, he takes back his homeland in a way that would do her proud, as his own man, who doesn't fight out of honor, but out of duty to protect the people. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about whether Ghost of Tsushima would have been a better game if it had a choice-based system like Infamous.